Oh, what is up, y'all? This is my dad, Adam, here, and I'm Cameron, and welcome to the first episode of the AC Sports Talk Show, the coolest talk show around. We'll be doing games, predictions on who we think's gonna win, and injuries reports, and even more stuff like that. So, with that being said, you want to start us off with the first game?
Yeah, sure. So first up, we have the Bengals and the Ravens.
Bengals and the Ravens.
I was just saying what your thoughts were.
I think it'd be a very good game. There's both good defenses and both good offenses going at it. The Bengals made it to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They got close to getting into the Super Bowl last year too. It just feel like they fell off a little bit this year. Going into this game, it feels like the only big thing that they're really missing is just T. Higgins here. But they still got Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, and Joe Burrow, and all those people that make the really good team too. And then on the other hand, Odell Beckham Jr. is getting in there now for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, apparently I heard he's having the best throwing he's had since his first debut in the NFL this season. And hopefully they can get Mark Andrews in there for my sake in fantasy. I need him to get some points. But, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to take the Ravens here with a 27-17 win over the Bengals. Who do you think's going to win this?
Well, as you mentioned, T. Higgins is going to be out for a second game in a row. So Tyler Boyd's going to fill in a lot right there. The Ravens defense, where did they go last week? They let the Browns beat them after going out to Seattle and just putting a beat down on them guys, 37-3. This is a conference game. I think the Ravens, they're going to try and run the ball. I think the Bengals are going to try and run the ball, but in the end, I think it's really whoever has the best passing game. I like the Bengals in this game. I've got them winning 27-24.
Okay. It's not that bad. All right, let's see what we got next. We've got the Browns and the Steelers. Who do you think's going to win this, and what's your predictions?
Oh, man, where do you go from here if you're a Browns fan? Watson, he's in, he's out, he's in for a quarter, he's out. And of course, by now, everybody knows, he's out for the year. So, who's going to play? Is it going to be Thompson? Is it going to be Walker? I personally like Walker, but I think they may go with Thompson. I think this is going to affect Amari Cooper a little bit. They're going to go, I feel, run heavy, same as they did when Deshaun was out. So I feel like Cleveland's going to run the ball. I don't think that's going to be enough, though, for the Steelers' their defense. T.J. Watt, he's probably going to get back there, pressure the quarterback, 1 sack at least.
Maybe two.
Maybe two. But the pressure's going to be there on those quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, and I look for them to have a high turnover margin in this game. I'm taking Pittsburgh 21-13. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like this would be a very good game. You got division rivalry. It's always been good games between these two. We haven't seen a game really in a while. It's been like a blowout. Like, let's say the Browns, they win 40-3, or the Steelers win 40-3. It's been always close. And Dorian Thompson. He led the UCLA team very good in college. You can't go wrong with that, having a good quarterback. But then, he's a very good backup, too. Along with P.J. Walker. P.J. Walker, we've seen what he can do. He's had a couple starts in the past couple of years, and with the problems with Watson, he's having to be out for 11 weeks last season and then coming back. But, yeah, T.J. Watt, he'll probably be able to get up there. But, they both got 6-3 records. But with that, I'm going to have to say that the Browns are able to just get this away in the fourth quarter. I'm going to have to say it's going to be a 31-24 win here for the Browns.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see how Jalen Warren and Najee Harris is going to play. I feel like Warren's been outperforming Harris, so, I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, and we know, the Browns are starting to lose their big players. They got Deshaun Watson out, and Nick Chubb was hurt in a beginning of the season.
Yeah, and they're still right there in playoff contention. You know, you almost wonder if they're going to make a move for a quarterback and grab somebody, you know.
All right, let's see who we got next. It says we got the Cardinals and the Texans. Man, a lot of big people in this game.
Yeah, you know, Kyler Murray comes back last week, has a decent game. But man, you can't say enough about C.J. Stroud. I mean, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's looking like he's going to run away with Rookie of the Year in my mind. Nico Collins has had a calf injury, still hasn't slowed the offense down. Dylan Brown, Brown last week. Brown over 300 yards in the last 2 weeks. So it doesn't seem to matter who they have in their receiver. Stroud's able to get it to him. Also Schultz, he's come on really as a tight end also. I think there's just too much for this Texans team on the offensive end. I think they're going to overpower the Cardinals in the end. I've got the Texans 30 and the Cardinals 24.
Yeah, he did say Kyle Murray, he came back, had a decent game. He had like 1 or 2 interceptions. I mean, hopefully that's not how he plays for the rest of the season. I mean, we can already really see how the Cardinals season's going to go. They probably really already lost their playoff hopes this season. But yeah, Nico Collins with a calf injury. If he plays, he'll probably maybe get 2 or 3 passes thrown to him, see if he can still play with that calf. And if he's able to get them balls and do what he usually does, maybe he might get more than 3 or 4 or 5 passes to him.
Yeah.
And Devil Singletary, he's in.
Oh my gosh, 30 rushes last week. I don't see him being able to sustain that every week. But
he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
If Pierce is out, for fantasy owners at least, that might be a running back you want to plug in.
And C.J. Stroud, he could be a Rookie of the Year, and Tank Dell too. That's a big duo this year. But with that being said,
absolutely,
I'm gonna have to say that the Texans are gonna take this one home, a 37-20 win over the Cardinals. Who we got next?
We got the Titans and the Jaguars.
So the Titans and the Jags, you got Derrick Henry. I mean, they call him King Henry. We've seen the King in him before, but just this year, it just hasn't been the King that we've used to being seen. He did kind of represent that name last year in the King, but he's had some games where he's got -10, right? Minus rushing yards, like 1, and then others with like under 10 rushing yards. Travis Etienne's doing good. They're both in the top 5 in rushing. Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk, and Calvin Ridley. That's a very good one. But with that being said, I'm going to have to say that the Jags, they're able to take this other division rivalry away here with a 24-10 win over the Titans.
Yeah, as you mentioned about Henry, he's only been over 100 yards rushing twice this year, and once was only 101 yards. He only has 4 touchdowns. Last week he had only 24 yards rushing. They can't sustain him only getting 24 yards rushing and be competitive. Why they didn't trade him in the beginning at the end of the trade deadline is maybe because Will Levis had a good game and threw 3 touchdowns to Hopkins. Since that game, he really has been the Will Levis that I thought he would be. I think Ryan Tannehill needs to get back in there, personally. But in this game, I still think I'm going to go with the Jaguars. They've got too much offensive power. ETN, Kirk. Even though Trevor Lawrence got sacked 5 times last week, I look for him to bounce back. I look for Ridley to finally get a good game. He's really not been what he portrayed to be earlier in the year for first week maybe. But I'm going to take the Jaguars 24-17.
Okay. So we've got the Cowboys and the Panthers. Man, this game, we really already know, just looking at who's playing, the Cowboys and the Panthers, we really just already know how this game really seems. It's going to be the Panthers. They take another L this week, it seems. CeeDee Lamb probably has another good game along with that, and hopefully Tony Pollard can get up in there too. But with that, I don't really have much to say for this game, except for I'm going to have to say that the Cowboys are going to sweep this game with a 42-10 win over the Panthers.
Yeah, I see the Cowboys winning as well. I mean, the Panthers one win. The Cowboys defense is just going to be too much. Dak has looked amazing the last 2 weeks. CeeDee Lamb's been the number one receiver in the league for the last 2 weeks. Um, maybe Pollard's able to get on track, but either way, if not, I feel the air raid offense for the Cowboys and their defense is just going to smother the Panthers. Miles Sanders has been basically a nobody this year. Adam Thielen, the only bright spot on the Panthers team. You need a little more weapons than that when you're going to play the Cowboys at this day and age. So again, with that being said, I'm with you on the Cowboys winning. I've got it 31-10.
31-10 too. Yeah. So next up, we've got the Raiders and the Dolphins.
Fins up.
Fins up, man.
Yes, sir. I'm expecting big things from the Dolphins, not only because I'm a fan, but hey, who's going to play quarterback for the Raiders? Adams, he's got 0 touchdowns, 0 100-yard games since week 3. You're looking at A-Chain coming back. He was so explosive before his knee injury. If he's fully back healthy, what kind of numbers can he put up? Or will they keep him on a snap count?
Yeah.
Still, with that being said, the Raiders coming to Miami this time of the year. Miami's defense has been playing pretty well. I'm looking for a big game out of Tua. Waddle's coming off the knee injury. Looks like he's going to be healthy and playing. So I'm taking the Dolphins in this game here, 31-13.
31-13, yeah. Very possible that can happen. I mean, we've seen the Dolphins lose a couple games this season. I mean, they didn't lose bad. They barely lost to the Chiefs, I mean, they barely lost to the Eagles. They kept it close against the 2 top teams. It seems this year. I mean, we get to see the Chiefs and the Eagles go head-to-head this week, too.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But Tua, Tyreek, probably the number one duo right now in the NFL.
Yeah, he's definitely looking like he's going to live up to what he said and go for that 2,000 yards. He's over 1,000 already.
Yeah, Devontae Adams. Yeah, not really much to say. He just hasn't been playing like he did with the Packers 2 years ago. But with that being said, I'm going to have to take Miami here with a 35-17 win over the Raiders. Who we got next?
Yeah, we're looking at the Chargers and the Packers.
The Chargers and the Packers. Chargers on must-need win here if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Jordan Love hasn't been like he was thought to be. Like, he's had an overhype really coming in. Aaron Rodgers getting traded away. They're like, oh, wow, let's see what Jordan Love can do. I think he's going to be good. I mean, it just hasn't showed that. Their team's at 3 wins and almost like maybe 6 or 4 losses, somewhere between there. And this is the first time I've seen the Chargers have a losing record with a 4-5 record. But yeah, hopefully we get to see a lot of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen here. But I'm gonna have to say that the Chargers are able to take this one home with a 42-37 win. What do you think?
Well, again, I'm kind of interested in Keenan Allen. He had a shoulder injury in the last game. He did come back in and score a touchdown. But this week he hasn't really been practicing. With Jordan Love again, the love-hate relationship there with Green Bay. First game he came in, he looked like he was going to pick up where Aaron Rodgers left off. And since then he's kind of played like I thought he would play. It's real hard to come in and play like C.J. Stroud's played. That's why it's so impressive to me how well he's done. But you come in to the Packers' home, it's a different game.
Yeah.
I still look for the Chargers to pull this out. I think their offense is just going to be too much for the Packers. I look for them to get Austin Eckler involved early and often. So with that being said, I'm into the Chargers for the win on this game, and I'm taking the Chargers 27-17.
Oh, right. I mean, we both think the Chargers going to win. That's probably something that maybe a bunch of y'all out there can agree with is the Chargers winning. But let's see who we got next now.
The Bucks and the 49ers.
The Buccaneers and the 49ers, man. Just like I said, Jordan Love having an overhype. The Buccaneers had an overhype. Started 3-0. Everybody, I mean, I really wanted to see him going into the Buccaneers' fourth game, the Lions and the Bucks. I was like, they're both undefeated teams. I feel like this would be a good game. Both in the NFC, both have potential of making the playoffs. Which we just see the Buccaneers get exposed really, really bad. I mean, they scored less than 7 points in that game. I mean, and then the Lions got like 30, but the 49ers, I mean, they lost 3 in a row, but they've been unstoppable. They've got a great running game with Christian McCaffrey. Brock Purdy's been amazing. Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk's been getting some touchdown catches. And just this defense, Adam Chase Young is unstoppable. They in a combined of Nick Bosa and like Chase Young, they had at least maybe 5 sacks. That was a very good game. And they had a forced fumble against one of the best quarterbacks right now, Trevor Lawrence. But with that being said, I'm going to have to say that the 49ers are going to take this W home against the Buccaneers with a 31-24 win here. What do you think is going to happen here in this game?
Well, the 49ers, adding Chase Young to their defense, wow. 5 sacks last week over Trevor Lawrence. They really brought that team back down to reality. Deebo Samuel coming back from injury. That was a huge add for their offense. Him and Ayuk have been pretty good tandem when they're on the field healthy. Then you got Mike Evans on the other end, out with a quad injury. Will he play? Will he not play? Who knows? That's going to be huge for the Bucks. I just think the 49ers defense is just way too much. They're going to get to Baker Mayfield. They're going to put the pressure on him. What do you do if you're the Bucks? Do you run the ball? Do you pass the ball? The 49ers, they can do anything. Christian McCaffrey, 17 straight games with a touchdown. His streak snapped last week, of course. I think he starts a new streak this week. I've got the 49ers winning this game. I got 28-14.
28-14. Let's see. We've got the Jets and the Bills, man. This is just another. This is the third game we've seen that's division rivalries. We've seen the Titans and the Jags and the Bengals and the Ravens are both very, very good games that we'll see probably. Especially this one, the Jets, they've Zach Wilson hasn't been the best, but he's been better, especially what we can say better than Jordan Love's been showing this year. He's up there, probably top maybe 20 in passing. And Josh Allen, man, he's got already 11 interceptions, and we're just getting past half point. I mean, with 11 interceptions already, and we're halfway, he might end up with 22 interceptions, which is not good for what should be one of the best quarterbacks, but he does get up there in passing yards. Hopefully he can get the ball to Diggs a lot for me. I need him in fantasy because I'm trying to keep my playoff hopes alive, but the Broncos game was a surprising. Well, not for me. I had already knew the Broncos were going to win. I had pretty sure got that in, but with that, I'm going to have to say that I don't feel like there'll be an upset. I feel like we'll see the Bills also take this one home with a 31-28 win with a last-second kick.
Yeah, the first game of the year was a surprise. The Jets winning. I'm not seeing that in this game. I think in this game, Josh Allen's going to rebound. I look forward to a good defensive battle on both ends of the field. I'm not looking at a high-scoring game here. Zach Wilson, I think he's going to make some mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't think they've used Dalvin Cook enough either. So I'm leaning towards the Bills. I don't think they're going to let it happen again. I think it's going to be kind of low scoring. I'm going 24-17.
Okay, let's see. Who we got next?
Seattle and the Rams.
Man, here comes our fourth one, another division rivalry. Seattle and the Rams. Seattle's have been exposed by the Ravens a couple weeks ago, like 37-3 or 34-3. The Ravens have been exposing people this season. Like, they exposed the Lions and now the Seattle, which we thought were really good. But still, but back to the Seattle and Rams, Puka Nacua, he's like right behind C.J. Stroud and Rookie of the Year. I mean, the way he's been playing. I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was a tight end at first because of the way he looked, and I just thought he was a tight end. And I was like, wait, he's a receiver. But yeah, him and Cooper Cup would be good people to side by side, and maybe they can get the Cooper Cup some more this season too. But with that being said, I'm gonna have to say I see the upset here. I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna see the Rams with a 24-13 win over the Seattle Seahawks.
I think the opposite. I'm looking to have Seattle win this game here. Cooper Cup really hasn't been the same since he came back. He had one good game. And since he's come back, Puka's kind of stock has dropped a little bit for Cooper Cup cutting in on that. The running back situation is my concern with the Rams. Who's healthy, who's going to play. Darrell Henderson really hasn't been the running back that I think they thought they were going to get.
Yeah.
Seattle, I think, is going to take this game. I think Walker III is going to continue strong running as he continues in his top 5 performance this year. I look for Geno to get Lockett and DK involved also. I like Seattle in this game. I'm taking Seattle 24 and the Rams 21.
All right. Let's see who we got next now. Ooh.
Vikings and the Broncos.
Man, Justin Jefferson. He's coming back, I think, this week. Or if not this week, next week. Definitely next week, if not this week. But, man, he might be a little rusty. You know, I mean, he is a top talent wide receiver. He played like 5 games and had over 400 yards in receiving. And, man, Kirk Cousins, messed him up. But now we get to see what looks like prime-time Joshua Dobbs, man. I mean, he's been killing it. He's got, 4 or 5 wins in a row? Something like that as a starter.
Yeah, the Vikings got 4 wins in a row, or 5 wins in a row, yeah.
Yeah, and the Broncos coming off of a big W. I mean, beating the Bills and beating the Chiefs. What was that, back-to-back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I see them being slowed down a little bit. I'm going to see that the Joshua Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings are still going to be able to take this W. It'll be a close game. I'm going to say 27-24.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Vikings thought they were going to miss Kirk Cousins, I believe, when he tore his ACL, but the way Dobbs played last week, wow, maybe they got a needle in a haystack there on that deal. I know the Arizona Cardinals are wishing they had the Dobbs of last week for them. Jefferson, he's trending back towards he's going to play, whether he'll be on the snap count, whether he'll play the whole time. I guess it depends on how the practices the rest of the week go. The Broncos, man, wow. After the Dolphins put 70 off on them, I think everybody thought they might be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
With the last 2 weeks, it's like, what did they do? What switches did they turn on to right the ship? Because they're really looking like a decent team. Not saying they're a playoff team yet, but they're definitely trending up. I think the Broncos defense is going to give the Vikings some trouble. I'm not looking at a really high-scoring game here either. I've got the Vikings winning 23-20.
Okay, so we got the Bears and the Lions, man. Fields, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Having a thumb injury, he's been out. We thought, oh my God, Bears, they might actually win a couple of games with Tyson Bagent after he won his first game there. But man, overhyped again this season. He just fell off. Started playing like Justin Fields before that injury, man. But yeah, the Lions have been playing pretty good. I mean, Amon St. Brown, they've got the ball. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, all them people, man. They've been getting up there. But with that being said, I feel like this would be an L for Justin Fields' return. I'm going to have to say that the Lions are going to take this home with a 13-28 win here for the Lions.
Yeah, the Bears definitely going to take an L on this one, even with Fields coming back. The Lions, their offense is pretty stout. Amon St. Brown, Laporta's looking great. Probably the best running back. The running back duo, with Jahmyr Gibbs. How sensational he's looked the last few weeks. David Montgomery coming back. That 1-2 punch is, looking like it's going to be hard to beat and give somebody trouble in the playoffs. On the Bears end, Dante Foreman has an ankle injury. Is he going to come back and play? I don't think it's going to really matter much. I think Fields is going to run the ball. If you've got Fields playing in your fantasy maybe, But other than that, I'm playing all the Lions players that I can. I like the Lions winning this game here. I've got the Lions 28. I've got the Bears 17.
All right, man. Almost done. Next up, we've got poorly looking Giants and a very good looking Washington. I mean, Sam Howell, he's literally like, what is he like?
Top five.
First or second.
Quarterback.
Passing yards. Man, if you're looking for a fantasy quarterback and he's on free agency, definitely try to pick him up if he's not. I mean, he's been playing really good. I mean, I thought he would be getting, when it looked like 13 points, he ended up with 18 somehow. But that's what I was saying. Like, the Giants, they got Saquon Barkley, man. I don't know what happened to this Giants team, Didn't they, make this playoffs a couple years ago? Like somehow made it with one game. I think it was last year, maybe like that. But anyways, we haven't seen a good Giants team in a while since maybe it was like Eli Manning left. But we'll see the Sam Howell and these Commanders take this W home here probably and they're home too with I'm gonna say a 37-20 win here.
Yeah, the Giants, they've just looked horrible. Waller's still on IR. Barkley's nursing an ankle injury. Will he play? Will he be on a snap count also? He's practicing this week in a limited fashion. Tends to make me think he will play. But if you're playing from behind, he's not going to run the ball. They're going to be having to throw it to catch up. Sam Howell has just been amazing this year.
Yeah,
I never seen it coming. His pass yards are in the top 5. Terry McLaurin's looking good. Antonio Gibson might not play. He has a toe injury.
Brian Robinson's been doing all right.
So Brian Robinson might get the whole bell cow workload this week. But the Giants, they just don't have anything going for them. They're on a downward spiral. I've got the Commanders winning this game 24-16.
Oh, man. Last game this week, man. Super Bowl again, man.
Super Bowl rematch.
Yeah, this might be the Super Bowl this year too. Eagles and the Chiefs. Whew, man, the Chiefs, they haven't been playing good. Especially, I mean, they played all right. They played good. They played all right. It's just that they just feel like there's something that's not right with them right now.
Yeah, it's in their receiving, man. They really don't have that guy. Trying to go back and get Mecole Hardman. I think that's really what they're struggling at. They stop Kelsey, then who else do you have? The Super Bowl rematch is looking good. A.J. Brown's been phenomenal, top 5 in receiving. Who's going to stop him? The Chiefs' defense has looked pretty good this year. I'm excited to watch this game. Chiefs coming off of a bye, got a little more time to prepare. But the Eagles, they're looking like the Eagles of last year. They don't look like they've lost a beat.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Eagles to make it to the NFC Championship at a minimum. In this game here, wow, I think it's going to come down to, the fourth quarter, the 2-minute drive, tie game. I've got the Eagles winning 27-24.
Yeah, seems like it's a be a good game. A.J. Brown, who's probably going to have a good game. And Rashee Rice, look at him. He's been playing really good. But hopefully, if not, Miami makes it. Maybe we get to see another Chiefs and Eagles, which would be it depends if it'd be a good game on how this game plays out. But with that, man.
Yeah, and Kelsey, if he has a game like last week, it's going to be over for the Eagles.
Yeah,
the Eagles going to just dominate them.
Well, with that being said, man, there's a lot that's probably going to happen. But with this, I'm going to have to say it'll be close like the Super Bowl. I'm going to call it just like the Super Bowl did last year. I'm going to say a 38-35 win for the Eagles here this time, though.
Sweet. Well, that's the end of our show. And if you liked it, leave us a like or a comment. We'll try and get back to you. And we'll be sure to have an episode uploaded for next week. Any suggestions, leave below in the comment box. And we'll respond back to you.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button too, man. But yeah, thank you for watching. This is our NFL week predictions. I'm out.